In Meereen, Missandei teaches Grey Worm how to speak the common tongue, during which he shares that his earliest memory after his castration is being born in the Summer Isles. Missandei, in turn, recalls the traumatic memory of seeing Noth burn as she was taken into slavery for Slaver's Bay. Daenerys orders Grey Worm and several Unsullied to infiltrate Meereen disguised as slaves and incite a rebellion among the enslaved population. They visit a slave pen, where a young slave is already trying to persuade his fellow captives to rise up against the great masters. However, the older slaves resist, convinced that any rebellion will be crushed as before. Grey Worm steps in, telling them that only they have the power to free themselves, and presents them with weapons. The uprising proves to be a resounding success. With Meereen now under her control, Daenerys exacts brutal justice by ordering the crucifixion of 163 great masters in retaliation for the 163 slave children crucified along the road to Meereen. Esser Barristan urges her to show mercy, arguing that injustice is sometimes best answered with forgiveness. However, Daenerys, embodying her Targaryen heritage, declares that she will answer injustice with justice. As the agonized cries of the crucified great masters echo through the city, Daenerys stands atop the Great Pyramid of Meereen, where the golden harpy of Gis has been replaced with the banner of House Targaryen. With Meereen conquered, Daenerys has now seized control of all three cities of Slaver's Bay. At the Wall, Jon Snow and Grenn are training a group of recruits, including Locke and Ollie, to prepare them for fighting wildlings. Alliser Thorne scolds Jon, reminding him that he is a steward, not a ranger, and attempts to provoke him, seemingly looking for an excuse to have Jon killed. Afterward, Jon speaks with Locke, who pretends to be from the Stormlands and expresses a genuine desire to protect the realm. Janos Slynt warns Thorne that while Jon is popular among the men, Thorne is not, and, with Maester Aemon calling for an election for a new Lord Commander, Jon stands a strong chance of succeeding Mormont. Hoping to eliminate Jon as a threat, Slynt convinces Thorne to send Jon to deal with the mutineers at Craster's Keep, expecting the mission to result in Jon's death. Meanwhile, Samwell Tarly is worried about Gilly's safety in Mole's Town, given the threat of the wildlings. Jon reassures him, admitting that he understands Sam's fear. Jon confides that since learning from Sam that his younger brother, Bran Stark, is alive and heading beyond the Wall, he has wanted to find him. Sam explains that he genuinely tried to bring Bran back, but Bran was determined to continue his journey. When they realize that Bran may have taken refuge at Craster's Keep, they are interrupted by Locke, who brings Jon to Thorne. Thorne authorizes Jon's mission but insists that Jon must recruit volunteers rather than order men to accompany him. Jon delivers a passionate speech, arguing that the mutineers must be stopped to protect Castle Black and to seek justice for Lord Commander Mormont. To Thorne and Slynt's surprise, Grenn, Edison Tollett, and several others step forward to join Jon's mission, including Locke, who offers to take his vows if needed before going north of the Wall. In King's Landing, during their sword training session, Bronn urges Jaime to visit Tyrion in the dungeon, reminding him that Tyrion had named Jaime his champion at the Eyrie, because he knew Jaime would ride day and night to fight for him. Jaime eventually visits Tyrion and reveals that Cersei asked him to kill him. Tyrion convinces Jaime that he didn't murder Joffrey, pointing out that even if the real killer confessed with undeniable proof, Cersei would still demand his death. Tyrion notes that the trial is even more hopeless, since one of the judges has always wanted him dead. Jaime also informs Tyrion that Cersei has promised a knighthood to anyone who captures Sansa Stark. Despite acknowledging that Sansa had the strongest motive, Tyrion insists she had nothing to do with the murder. Later, Jaime confronts Cersei, who is disgusted by Jaime's apparent loyalty to Tyrion, accusing him of siding with their brother due to his lifelong fondness for him. Meanwhile, Lady Olenna tells Margaery that she's preparing to return to Highgarden. She discusses Margaery's upcoming marriage to the new king, Tommen, warning that Cersei will likely turn Tommen against her unless Margaery acts quickly. Olenna reassures Margaery that Cersei is currently too distracted by her obsession with punishing Tyrion for Joffrey's death. When Margaery suggests that Tyrion might be guilty, Olenna firmly states his innocence and confesses that she would never have allowed Margaery to marry that beast. Margaery is shocked by the revelation, but Olenna ends the conversation decisively. That night, Margaery sneaks into Tommen's chambers, charming him with her warmth and affection. She subtly plants the idea that they should start getting to know each other, since they will one day be married. She compliments his cat and his kind nature, promising to visit again, Tommen falls asleep smiling, comforted by her attention. In the Kingsguard chambers, Jaime entrusts Brienne with the task of finding and protecting Sansa from those who would deliver her to Cersei. He provides Brienne with a horse, supplies, and a freshly forged suit of armor. He also gifts her a Valyrian steel sword, reforged from Ned Stark's blade, instructing her to use it to protect Stark's daughters. Jaime insists that she take Podrick Payne as her squire, both as a reward for his loyal service to Tyrion and to protect him from those who might exploit him. Before departing, Brienne names the sword Oathkeeper and vows to find Sansa, honoring both Jaime's trust and Lady Catelyn's memory. Narrow Sea. Sansa confronts Petyr Baelish, accusing him of orchestrating Joffrey Baratheon's murder. Baelish initially sidesteps the accusation, noting that he had been away for weeks and suggesting that Tyrion might be responsible. However, Sansa firmly defends Tyrion, instinctively certain of his innocence. She also reasons that Baelish is far too cunning to rely on a drunken fool like Esser Dantos as an accomplice. Impressed by her sharp intuition, Baelish admits that Tyrion is indeed innocent and reveals Sansa's unwitting role in the assassination. The necklace Esser Dantos gave her contained a poisonous stone, which was slipped into Joffrey's wine. Sansa is stunned, wondering why Baelish would betray the Lannisters after they rewarded him with the seat of Harrenhal. Baelish explains that while his alliance with the Lannisters had been profitable, it's wiser to keep enemies guessing. His absence from the wedding ensures he remains above suspicion. When Sansa questions his true motives, suspecting that he is too strategic to kill a king merely to create chaos, Baelish acknowledges her insight. He admits that Joffrey's erratic nature made him more of a liability than an asset. More importantly, Joffrey's death pleased Baelish's new friends, and offering them such a valuable gift was a useful step toward strengthening those alliances. Beyond the Wall. At Craster's Keep, the mutinous deserters remain entrenched, indulging themselves on the stored food and violating Craster's wives. Carl Tanner, drinking wine from the skull of Jeor Mormont, drunkenly boasts about his prowess as a hired killer in King's Landing before ordering Rast to feed the beast. One of Craster's wives then brings Craster's last son, insisting the infant must be offered as a gift to the gods. Following Carl's command, Rast leaves the infant on an exposed patch of ground. He then cruelly taunts Ghost, the direwolf they have caged, by withholding food and water. As a sudden snowstorm intensifies and the temperature plummets, the water Rast was teasing Ghost with freezes solid. Realizing the White Walkers are near, Rast panics and flees. Nearby, Bran Stark and his companions hear the infant's cries. Bran wargs into Summer to investigate, but Summer is caught in a trap near Craster's Keep. Sensing the danger, Mira Reed urges them to move on, but Bran insists on freeing both Ghost and Summer. Before they can act, they are captured by the mutineers. Some of the deserters torment Hodor for amusement, while the others take Bran and his friends to Carl. When Carl demands to know who they are, their silence provokes him to threaten Mira and Jojen. Jojen suddenly suffers a seizure, collapsing to the ground. Mira begs to be released so she can help him. Carl relents when Bran reveals his true identity. About Missandei. Missandei serves as the interpreter between her master, Krasny's Monaclaws, and Daenerys Targaryen when Daenerys arrives in Astapor with the intent to purchase the Unsullied. However, Missandei does more than just translate. She tactfully filters Krasny's harsh commentary about Daenerys, omitting his insults and maintaining professionalism, even when Krasny's graphically describes the brutal methods used to train and discipline the Unsullied. When Daenerys meets with Krasny's and the other good masters, she declares her intention to buy all 8,000 Unsullied available for sale. Krasny's arrogantly dismisses her offer, claiming she cannot afford them. His condescending tone increases, making it difficult for Missandei to maintain a polite demeanor while translating. Undeterred, Daenerys escalates the deal by also requesting the hundreds of young recruits still in training. In exchange, she offers one of her dragons. The good masters accept, but Daenerys adds one more condition. She wants Missandei as a gift and a gesture of good faith. Krasny's agrees, and Missandei begins her new service under Daenerys. Afterward, Daenerys asks Missandei her name and whether she has any surviving family. Missandei responds that she does not. Daenerys warns her that joining her cause means heading into war, where she might be killed or succumb to illness. Missandei replies calmly with the Valyrian phrase, Valar Morghulis, all men must die. Daenerys acknowledges the translation but adds with quiet defiance, but we are not men, which brings a rare smile to Missandei's face. Dressed in a new outfit matching Daenerys' colors, Missandei accompanies her new queen during the formal exchange with Krasny's. She translates, until Daenerys unexpectedly begins speaking flawless Low Valyrian, issuing direct orders to the Unsullied. Missandei quickly becomes Daenerys' most trusted aide-de-camp during the march to Yunkai. On Daenerys' orders, she gathers the Unsullied officers and instructs them to choose a single leader from among themselves. Grey Worm is selected, and Missandei explains to Daenerys that the Unsullied are traditionally given names based on bleak colors and vermin to remind them of their low status.